We are not quite walking out with Wex because it's an extended edition here inside NRG Stadium where the Texans took care of business, not because they won 20-3 over the Panthers in preseason game number 2, but because the starters played and then the starters exited healthy. 2 series for the offense, 3 series for the defense. Here's how things went. CJ Stroud in the offense. Again, that offensive line with Titus Howard out. He was in and out of practice throughout the week at right tackle, which meant Blake Fisher got the start at right tackle. Tay Ersery, the rookie, continues to get all the number 1 reps at left tackle alongside Laken Tomlinson. Ed Ingram over on the right side of the guard, and of course Jake Andrews, the center. They've played with this alignment so much of training camp and into the only preseason game I think CJ Stroud is going to see any action in. Thus, yeah, as I've said on the A-Team throughout the last several weeks, I believe this is the group they're going to run out there against the Rams on September 7th. So to what they did, wasn't a really good perfect start to their offense in that they had to punt on their opening possession. Then they put together a 10-play drive. One of the reasons why the first possession did not go well, Nico Collins down the right side, beat his man, 3rd down, CJ Stroud, a little bit of an overthrow, a little bit wide to the sideline, no chance for Nico to make a play on the ball. They punt. Next drive, Nick Chubb runs were there. Just like the offensive line did a week ago in the opening preseason game, the defense is not getting into the backfield. There is room to run, and in this case, it was Nick Chubb, his first preseason action for the Texans. Looked good doing it, carried the pile a little bit, but certainly there were holes for him to run through. Big part of that opening drive that was successful, and CJ just had a much better time of things on that second drive, culminating with the touchdown pass to Nico Collins. In my opinion, essentially an indefensible play. It's a play that's so common, I don't feel like the Texans showed something that other teams are like, oh, they might run this. Well, they can run it all they want. I don't know that there's a defense that's going to be able to stop that. Not going to be able to get to CJ quickly enough to stop it. You're no way you're going to be up on Nico Collins. Big receiver, easy touchdown. Texans, Stroud to Nico. I think we're going to see quite a bit of that. I had a chance to catch up with Nico Collins a little bit after this game inside the Texans locker room.
My mindset was go out there, man, learn the offense, hear the play calls, get lined up, and go out there and have fun. It's back to football, back to what we do. So it felt good, go out there in front of the home crowd, home field, man, and just be playing football again. It's no better feeling than that.
And when you run the ball, does everybody kind of see what can happen?
Yeah, for sure. We got playmakers all around the field, man. When anybody get the ball in their hands, they can make a play. But it felt good, go out there, get the rock, make something happen, get tackled a little bit. It felt good, so can't wait, man, for the season to start. It's going to be a good one.
Nico, I was talking to a couple of guys say that, just wish the calendar returned and you're there already. But like Nick said, no, we got work to do here.
Yeah,
it's a new
sure.
week, fresh week, going to Detroit, trying to make some progress.
Absolutely, man. There's always room for improvement. Like I said, we're going to watch the film, learn from it, and find room to grow for next week. Continue to grow, continue to find the things we need to work on as a unit, individuals, So I feel like for us, man, we got to continue to keep getting better, So it's a marathon, man, so it's not a sprint, but we got to continue to stack, continue to sharpen that blade every single day. Go against the best defense in the league every single day, so it's only right, man. Practice is going to be hard, so it'll be easier in the games. So we got to come out here every day and just execute, continue to get 1% better every day, So it's getting easy for us, man, but we got to continue to chop the wood, continue to get better, sharpen the iron. Raw, it's a new year, new opportunity to get better. So I feel like for me, man, continue to climb. Continue to find that 1% and don't get comfortable, continue to grow, have a growth mindset, and continue to grow.
Also had a chance to catch up with Nick Chubb. Chubb, I think, has been ramping things up throughout camp, slowly but surely. The more they've played, the more reps that he's gotten. The joint practice looked a little bit better, and then the game did as well. And I think it's all part of getting back into, he might be the number 1 running back for this team. With Joe Mixon not expected to see any action during training camp or the preseason games, obviously the joint practice either, he still sits on the Texans NFI list. I think there's a pretty good chance that Nick Chubb is getting the first carry of the game for the Texans in the opening game for the Texans September 7th against the Rams. His thoughts about this opening game for him, their offense, and this only home preseason game for the Texans.
The guys up front did a good job getting pushed, opening up holes. And for me, it was just, I haven't played since December, so a lot of anxiety, a lot of nerves, but it felt good to go out there and get tackled again. One of the best things I do is great tackles in practice. It's pretty much tagged. So, I think a game that allows you to kind of be more than yourself.
I think along those on the offensive line, it looked like they did a really good job. What specifically did they do to open up some room for you?
Just very physical. I think it goes back to practice, how we practice every day. We have a lot of runs in practice. You know, Coach Nick, he does a good job of making sure the guys are getting a lot of runs, be very physical up front, and it carried over to the game.
Was this more reflective, perhaps, of what the offense can do to play against another team that maybe they're not like your defense?
Yeah, it's definitely a difference, going against our defense every day and then, playing someone else. Things were a lot open. It felt a lot slower, compared to playing our defense every day in practice. So, that's shout out to our defense, how good they are, how physical and how fast they are.
CJ running the Nick Caley offense, how did you think that went, and some of the playbook now being in play in a real game?
I think it went good. Nick does a great job of calling the plays. And, CJ getting us all lined up in, execution. And, I talk to Nick all the time. He understands, that running the ball opens up everything. He's a young coach, and it's impressive that he understands, how important it is to be physical up front before anything else.
When you're in 12 personnel with the two tights, how much do you like that when you got Stover and Dalton as extra blockers?
I like that a lot. Those guys do a great job every day of, being physical and blocking guys.
We'll continue to talk about the group in front of Nick, the group in front of CJ. That includes rookie Tay Ersery. Happy to see the team get into the end zone. Great to work alongside Laken Tomlinson, his left guard, veteran and rookie. Good tandem there. Brought that up with the youngster Tae Ersery after the game in the Texans locker room.
Keep improving upon our physicality as a unit each and every week. Go back to the focus points of Cole Popovich and what he wants us to do out there as a unit. So,
what are his focus points?
Just be physical up front, over communicate, know where the mic is going. And there are no MAs, no penalties, stuff that we can control.
How good do you feel with your left guard now, having worked with him quite a bit?
Oh, I feel good, man. He's a vet, man. He's been in the league for a long time, so having somebody like that, you play a little bit more comfortable.
How important is it to get out there with him in a game like this, get a couple of series?
It's important because you build that chemistry, and that's what we need right here on all line.
Do you feel like it was important for the offense to also have success, get in the end zone?
Yes, sir.
How'd it feel?
I felt good, man, getting up in there, man, punching in the end zone. Nico scored. Just as a unit, we just happy he got it in the end zone.
What Chubb brings to the table for you guys. I know you guys talk about physicality. Kind of feels like he's almost an extension of you guys and how physical he runs the football. What did you make of what he had today?
I think he had a fantastic day. Nothing goes if we don't, cohesively block up front. He's the type of guy, selfless guy, always working, got his head down, and he'll come over to tell us, man, good job, keep going. So it's definitely, having Nick Chubb was a great addition.
What kind of pride do you guys take as a unit to be able to create holes and move bodies like you guys did on that second drive in particular?
Yeah, I feel like any offensive line unit across the league would have that type of mentality. You got to be physical in the run game, because then you play that off the pass. So, we take pride in that.
And for the defense probably had a 50% us, 50% you game Thursday in the joint practice against Bryce Young and the Panthers. Talking to Will Anderson Thursday after that joint session, he said it was a grinded out day. Got to be better than this. It's something as part of the process to getting better. Well, they certainly looked a whole lot better this afternoon. He got to Bryce Young twice. Once called for holding. There was an interception on that play. The second time he got to Bryce Young, and Tim Settle was there, or Mario Edwards Jr., was there to finish things off. 6 snaps for the first unit of the Panthers against the first unit of the Texans. They went nowhere and punted both times. Danielle Hunter, his first work in the preseason, and as you saw on my social, I believe that's the only work we're going to see from the top flight Texans starters. Don't expect them to see any action a week from now on the road against Detroit, because they'll get the time needed on the field Thursday in the joint practice. Here's what Danielle Hunter had to say after this 20-3 victory inside the Texans locker room.
Felt good. Felt good to go out there and go against somebody else. Felt good to go out in front of the stadium, NRG Stadium, in front of the fans for the preseason for a little bit. It was a good feeling.
Derek Stingley Jr. was just saying how when you combine rush and coverage, it's really tough to stop a defense like yours. How did you feel like they worked in tandem?
I felt like it was a good day today with the rush and the back end. Early in the week, we kind of just focused on what we did during the practice against them. We went out there and we made a few changes, and game day today, we did it all together.
You guys made it hard on Bryce Young. He was 0 for 2 with a sack and didn't have a lot of time. How did you feel like you guys did as far as affecting the pocket?
That's our number one job when we go out there, to stop the run and then affect the quarterback. You know, we take pride in doing that as a Texans defensive line. Just the biggest thing is we affect the quarterback. You know, anything can happen.
Will mentioned after the joint practices that we have to get better. He knows his words. But what do you hope that you all continue to improve as you all go to these joint practices with the Lions?
Just keep on building. There's always room for improvement. We're at the beginning of the season, and the standard, that we set each game, each practice, we got to improve upon that every time.
With the work you got Thursday that you're going to get next Thursday, do you still feel like you needed what happened today?
We always need work, man. Like I said, there's always room for improvement, and the Lions is a great football team, and we love to go against them and see where we stack up against them.
What's your confidence level in your defense?
We go out there and we do our job, man. That's the biggest thing. We do our job, and we're going to be a tough team to beat.
What did you think of your offense today, the ones got out there?
Oh, they did pretty good. They handled the ball well, The O-line blocked well, they did a good job, and they did a good ball management with the time clock, so it was good for them.
They did a nice job in run blocking both weeks they've had games. Do you feel like you've seen some of that during your practices against them?
Oh, definitely. Like I said, since the first day I've noticed the difference. So it's a big change from last year.
Is it a mindset? Is it physical? Is it both?
It's football, so it's all of that.
So wrapping up this preseason victory, good stuff for the first team offense, and again, that's pass blocking, which was very good. You'll see that C.J. Stroud was sacked in this game. It was a coverage sack, and even on the sack, he lost a yard, but he didn't get hit. He just went down, got touched down. He couldn't find anywhere to go because the pocket was actually intact. Just didn't have anybody to throw to. Most of the rest of the game, he had time behind there, and I've mentioned it already and mentioned it throughout the week on Sports Talk 790. They're doing a great job in the run game. That's 2 straight weeks where there's not a lot of activity in the backfield for the defense. You're getting to the line of scrimmage before you're seeing contact, and you're also able to see where the cut lanes might be. Dari a week ago, Nick Chubb today. Should mention Woody Marks, who got his work with Davis Mills at quarterback. His first carry of the game, he dragged tacklers 7 yards to finish out a 12-yard run. Second carry of the game, ran through the middle of the line and gained another 7 yards. That's the best he's looked. Better than he's looked in practice, better than he looked in joint practice. He looked very, very good in this game. Got a little bit of work for Jawar Jordan as well, but I do think this was very important for Woody Marks. Another game without Dameon Pierce. Their plan for him, like the plan with Christian Harris, just have them ready for the opener. In Pierce's case, maybe a little bit of a roster crunch, and maybe it's a little different story for him and where he's going to fit in. Harris is obviously going to make this team. He did not play. Cam Robinson, Titus Howard, I mentioned Dameon Pierce, all not healthy. Jalen Reed, the rookie as well, and of course C.J. Gardner-Johnson. None of them seeing activity in this game. Planning on having all of those guys ready either for the opener or very early in the season. Davis Mills, by the way, he looks like a backup quarterback. He looks ready to run this offense if needed. Made a lot of plays. Nice little less than 2-minute drill at the end of the first half to put another couple of points on the board. And they also had an interception. Damon Arnett is trying to make this football team from deep on the depth chart. Had a nice pass breakup, and in the process of that was able to tip the ball up into the air and then secure it. British Brooks on the offensive end. It was 1st and goal. 2nd and goal, he was able to punch it in. And that's how you got to your final score. The very, very important final score of a preseason, which I'm not even going to give to you. We're talking about it all week. They'll take the trip to Detroit to take care of the remainder, the joint practice, the remainder of preseason with game number 3. And not long from now, it's the first game of the season. Wrapping things up inside NRG Stadium. Catch us all week on the A-Team on Sports Talk 790 and via the simulcast on Space City Home Network.